What's going on, all you 30-something-year-old balding dad gamers of the world? You probably clicked on today's video because you're like, this guy is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no way the MMO genre isn't dying. Just look around at what they're doing to my favorite game. Insert favorite game. And you'll tell me that the MMO genre isn't dying. This guy's a moron. Well, I'm here to tell you today that the MMO genre is exactly going to save gaming, and it's going to be the future of gaming, and this is exactly why it is. Though gaming doesn't really need to be saved, I guess it could. Let's get on into the video. I'm Hambone, by the way. See you guys in a second. Let me know what you feel about this new formatted video I'm doing, trying something new here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So let's get on into it. First of all, why does my opinion matter? Because I'm some random guy on the internet. I've been playing MMOs for around about 20-odd years now, much like many of you that'll be in the comments or around. My first one was RuneScape back in the day. I played in the early 2000s, and then from there, I played a lot of other MMOs that are browser-based, like Dead Frontier, Dark Orbit. That was then when I was a kid, Adventure Quest Worlds. And then as I got older and got into some PC gaming, I spent a lot of time in Arcade, and then I played a lot of Black Desert when it came out. And since then, I've played a lot of World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV. I played some Guild Wars 2. Albion Online is probably my most played MMO. I put more hours into that one than any other. So my opinion on MMOs matters a little bit because I have quite a bit of experience with the genre. And so looking at how game development is going nowadays, how they're trending more towards live service and shared worlds in single-player games, which sort of fits into the MMO definition, if you will, sort of fits in with the MMO genre. That is why I believe the future of gaming is in the MMO. So let's go ahead and read the definition of an MMO, shall we? And I pulled this up on the internet. You can Google it if you don't believe me. An online video game which can be played by a very large number of people simultaneously. So by this definition, the majority of games that are popular nowadays are MMOs, okay? If you look at Fortnite, right? You're playing with 100 people. That's a popular game, all right? Grand Theft Auto Online, you're playing with how many people go in a lobby? 30 or so people. That's a large number of people playing together. That could be an MMO. Warframe, right? You got these social hubs, okay? Destiny 2, whatever. You got all these games have a social aspect where lots of people gather together all at one time to play together. So by that definition, a lot of games fit into the MMO space, I guess you could say. They kind of fit as an MMO, and so MMOs are sort of the most popular game by the definition of MMO. Yes, most of us don't consider a game to be an MMO. I know Josh Strife Hayes says unless it has fishing, it's not an MMO, but most of us don't consider games to be MMOs, just based off of a large number of players in an area. But for me personally, I'm going to go by the definition of what an MMO is. And knowing that live service games are the future, games that exist in a persistent way. I mean, Grand Theft Auto Online released in 2013. And when it came out, it didn't even have all the promised features. But me and my friends still played it a bunch. But guess how much money? Let's talk about how much money they've made off of just that game. Since its release, Grand Theft Auto Online, now this is just like GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, has made $6 billion, more than $6 billion. That's a lot of money in a decade. $6 billion in a decade, that's a whole lot of money. They make nearly, at this point, they're making almost $1 billion a year. It's $900-something million a year. The game had a budget of like $250 million, so yeah. They're making a fortune off of this game. And Grand Theft Auto traditionally was single-player games, right? All throughout history, Grand Theft Auto 4 being the first one to really have an online component. And even that was just run around with your friends and shoot stuff and drive your cars, whatever, online. It wasn't the same sort of thing as what we've saw with the GTA 5's online, where there's missions and, different game modes, races, all this expansive stuff you can do, I mean, that is where they've made their money. Microtransactions have fueled this game because they keep releasing content like, let's put out a new car that costs $10 million. Oh, well, by the way, you can buy a shark card that'll give you $10 million. And they've made a fortune off of this stuff. I mean, absolute fortune. I mean, you can look back, most game franchises are trying to tend towards this live service model. Look what they're doing with Diablo, okay? Diablo 4 is going to have like a multiplayer open world type experience that's sort of like a MMO light. And guess what? It's going to be very popular because of that. The people are going to play that because that's what today's gamers want. They want this shared world where they can show off the skins they bought in the cash shop, and where they can show off this other thing that they've done or show off whatever and just bump into people, talk to people. I mean, look what even like Warzone has done with proximity voice chat. That's something that they've brought in, okay, and that because of that, it allows people to connect a little bit more. And, you know, they're going to eventually, I look for games like Warzone and Fortnite to have lobbies where you can just hang out and not even worry about, you know, you hang out in that lobby while you queue up and wait for a match. Yes, they have pregame lobbies, but I'm talking about a lobby where you hang out and talk to people. I look for them to have that in the near future because that is the future of games. That's kind of where games are headed. Everything is headed towards a live service model. I mean, look at what Sony is doing. Sony, the company that traditionally makes single player experiences for their first party titles. Guess what? They're making a Horizon Zero Dawn MMO. That's right. I don't know what exactly that's going to entail, you know, how far they're going to go with that, but they are in the process of developing a Horizon Zero Dawn based MMO. Horizon being one of the most successful franchises for them, you know, of course, God of War being another big one, Spider-Man being huge. All of these games, I look for them to have an online, you know, whenever they release a new one, they're going to start pushing this live service stuff. I think they're testing the waters with Horizon and seeing how things go with developing this Horizon MMO, because you got to realize, you know, what is something that live service games and MMOs of today all have in common? What is a big thing they've got in common? I'll give you a second to think about it. Maybe put something in the comments down below and tell me. So what they all have in common is you go to an area, or maybe you're just roaming around and you sit in a queue and you wait up for whatever it is you want to be doing. You know, if you're in World of Warcraft, maybe you want to be doing a dungeon, or you want to be raiding. All right, Final Fantasy 14, maybe you're going on a dungeon or doing a trial, or maybe you're doing some frontline PvP. You know, let's see what, Warframe, you queue up for a mission and you wait on people and you go. Grand Theft Auto Online, you queue up for a race, you queue up for the Battle Royale, team deathmatch, whatever it is you're doing, you're sitting in a queue and you're waiting, all right? And so what, all these games, you do that nowadays, right? Everything in an MMO is queued for. There is no longer a sitting in trade chat and hollering for a group or in a looking for group chat, unless you're playing a game like Albion Online, which still does have this feature. You know, they don't have like a group finder that is of the depth of what other games have. And of course, Ashes of Creation is coming without one of those. So if you're one of the people who are upset about this new direction of MMOs, guess what? Ashes of Creation is going to have something for you, in that it's forcing you to have a social experience, which is how MMOs used to be. You know, back in the day, you just would hang out at the farming spot and wait for somebody else to show up, you know, talking and looking for group chat, try to find a group, try to find some people to play with you. And that's how it worked. Nowadays, you just click the queue button and you jump into something in 30 seconds or less and you go. And that's how games work. All games work this way. Live service games work this way. MMOs work this way. They want you to play them as a solo player, and they are trying their best to get solo players to enjoy their game and do well with their game. So that's why I think that, you know, a big reason why I think that in the future, of course, that all games are going to lean towards the MMO model as far as how this goes. And I think the MMO is the future. I think that we're done are the days of seeing live, single player games that are just expansive single player offline games. I think those days are over with. I think they're done. I think we're going to start seeing over the next decade, you know, unless it comes from like Nintendo, because they are always slow to adopt things, I think we're going to start seeing just massive amounts of single player games become live service or online games. Look what they tried to do with Assassin's Creed Unity. You don't think Ubisoft is over in the corner looking at how that failed and trying to figure out how to make the next Assassin's Creed a full-on live service? I mean, they already kind of are in a way, but they want to capitalize on this live service thing because it's a lazy way of doing things. You know, maybe release a paid expansion every year, but not new games, and just microtransactions, cosmetic cash shops, all this. It's the way that they make money. They make so much more money off of this stuff. So you think that these greedy corporations don't want to do that to make more money? I mean, that's what they're in it for. So what does this mean for the future? Well, it means that we're going to see a lot more games that have an online component, or maybe the majority of the game is online, even though it's a single player experience. I mean, Final Fantasy 14, even though it's probably my favorite MMO right now, most of the time I'm playing it by myself. I'm going through the story. I'm doing, if I do anything with a group at all, I just queue up. I don't even, my free company, yes, I have one and I run one, but most of the time everyone just queues up for stuff. There's a member of my free company that just AFKs in the gold saucer, and all they do is queue up for, dungeons or whatever they want to do that day. I mean, that's where we're at, right? Final Fantasy, as much as it is my favorite MMO, a lot of the time I'm not interacting with other people. I'm not doing things with other people. There's just people there, right? If I want to go see people, they're everywhere, right? That's what the game does well. It lets you feel like you're in a living, breathing world. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of it gaming go towards in the future. They're going to go towards this MMO style of hubs and cities and places where you're going to see other people. That's what the gaming genre to me looks like in the future. And that's why I think the MMO is going to lead the genre in the future. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. What's your opinion? How do you feel? And tell me what I could do better. Tell me how you like this video format. Something new I'm trying. We're going to see how it goes. Overall, though, I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, as we've got plenty more MMO content coming in the works. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.